Hello and welcome. Hi, I'm Grace Wroldson, and I want to welcome you to my work. If you don't know me, I'm an author, mother, survivor of narcissistic abuse, survivor of post separation abuse, survivor of legal abuse, and I was able to get cooperation and peace from the narcissist that I have to co parent with, my narcissistic ex. So, welcome to my work. If you don't know me, I have several books available for women and mothers. And this is today's tip. I have a Spotify podcast, Navigate the Narcissist, and it's about healing. Where healing from narcissistic abuse is not about making our pain go away, it's about carrying it humbly with grace. And the tip is to recycle the pain, make something useful and helpful for others that are also in pain. And you can buy my full healing guide on my website. So, I use this as a guiding principle for me. And I used to talk about anger in this way because my anger was the jet fuel I needed to get out of a toxic, abusive, unhealthy, codependent, alcoholic relationship. So sometimes anger can be constructive and it doesn't have to be destructive. Or if something needs to fall apart or if it needs to break, then we learn to allow things that need to fall apart, and we learn to get out of the way, and we learn to not focus on it, especially focusing on things that bring us down. We have to, if you're a mom co-parenting with a narcissist or stuck in a high conflict family court custody battle with a narcissist, my work is for you. If you're willing and ready to learn, I am here to teach. My background is loving and leaving an alcoholic and then fighting in a 12-year family court custody battle over our only child. You can come to my website and see my message about breaking free of codependency forever and learning to create peace and goodwill and get cooperation from a toxic ex. My full disclaimer is these are just my thoughts and opinions as an author. This is my survivor story. This is my survivor wisdom, not a therapist, doctor, or lawyer. So take what's helpful, take what's validating, take what's useful. Run everything and every idea that you might find here through your support team. Don't take it as direct advice. The only advice I give is get legal advice and be willing to learn the lesson, because if you can learn from your mistakes, you can change and heal and outgrow the narcissist. So, learning our lesson is one key to healing. So, if you can't label the lesson like, oh, I trusted somebody, gave them a benefit of the doubt before I even knew them, and I gave trust and to somebody who then broke it, but I had to learn that trust is earned, not just given. And if someone says, you don't trust me, you say, yeah, I don't. You've got to earn it. So if you can learn these lessons, then it's one key to your healing. My books are all available on Amazon. I say start with the yellow orange one, Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, 7 Self Rules to Stay Sane Before You Move to How to Fight a Narcissist in Family Court and Win, Super Smart Strategies for Success. My third, Co-Parenting with a Sociopath, Survival Insanity Guide. And my fourth is How to Survive a Custody Battle with a Narcissist When the Family Courts Force You to Co-Parent. Find them on Amazon. My first book, The Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, has been updated for 2024, How I Got My Miracle. And it has a bonus, which is the Get the Right Lawyer guide in the back, because sometimes getting a lawyer can be so empowering, even a legal consultation. Just knowing what your rights are and having a lawyer or representation can ward off some narcissists that have a lot to hide, a lot of skeletons in their closet. This is my new podcast on Spotify, Navigate the Narcissist When Co-Parenting or in a Custody Battle. You can join and subscribe. But if you have dealt with a narcissist, then you most likely have suffered. If you're dealing directly with a narcissist, then most likely he's causing some type of pain and harm. This means we will be hurting and triggered. We are humans. It's stressful, and this type of stress puts us into fight and flight mode. Not a healthy mode to be in day after day, year after year. And if we have children, our children need us to be healthy. So I recommend getting into some healing and recovery programs, doing therapy weekly, and getting support like DV, counselors, domestic violence counselors, which are usually free, sponsors in 12-step recovery programs, which can be free, like Codependence Anonymous, mentors, coaches, and lawyers. Emotional support is crucial to our emotional sobriety. We need to maintain our sanity when dealing with a crazy narcissist. We need to hold on to our health. We need to stay stable, which means financially stable, mentally stable, and physically stable, which is why we need our health. And we need to be the more logical and reasonable parent in case we ever get in front of a judge or have to explain our decisions. And healing needs to happen in levels, like deep levels. This is why we got to break trauma bonds and face love addiction, or uh, break free and recover from chronic codependency. And it sometimes our healing will go in waves, but I believe we need to facilitate our healing. We need to help the healing process. Just like if you had an open cut wound or band-aid, we need to find those open cut. We would need to find a band-aid, get the salve or the Vaseline or the ointment, the antibiotics, if it's gotten, into our system and it's deeper than surface level, and the doctors who specialize in the type of wound like narcissistic abuse. The specialists in this area can really help us with our healing. So self-work, our healing work, our self-discovery, learning we're an empath, learning that we've been codependent, our self-empowerment, learning we have rights, all this work is some of the most important work we will ever do. So pick up my Healing from Narcissistic Abuse guide. You can learn, heal, and outgrow the narcissist. It's on a standalone blog or article on my website. You can buy it just there with my 25 keys, or you can get it in my brand new book, Tame the Narcissist, 10 Keys for Better Co-Parenting to Create Peace and Protection Using Strategy and Skillful Means. This has all of my newest articles written, so it has all of my best, newest strategies that were very effective in my case, may or may not be effective in your case. But if you're willing to try some things, I always last episode I talked about, as a strategy, take more parenting time, and this can go a long way for the children psychologically and for you in family court. It can be easier on you if you take more parenting time and the children are less narcissistically abused themselves. But if you don't have parenting time, guess what you can be doing? If he has 4-hour dinner, you can get to a CODA meeting online, Zoom, in person. I went to an Al-Anon meeting as soon as their child was picked up. I went straight there, and that grounded me in sanity, and it gave me some serenity. And I learned about how to create boundaries and deal with boundary backlash. If you're dealing with a narcissist and you're forced to co-parent one, you're going to have to try my castle and curtain method, my gray walling method. But make sure you're documenting the narcissist. And I always tell moms, document your healing journey. So we have to heal from narcissistic abuse, and we can do something useful with the pain. We can share the pain with a safe, confidential person, which will cut the pain in half. We can do we can actually help others. So if you're in a 12-step recovery program, the 12th step is to carry the message to others and to help the newcomer that comes in without any tools of the program, without any recovery under their belt. So think about how your pain can help another person. So I will be running and hosting support groups. So make sure you find my private Facebook groups for moms co-parenting with a narcissist and moms in custody battles, because that's where I will announce my support groups that will be by phone or by Zoom with video off, so that we'll try to be as anonymous as we can, because we really want to keep the details and the intel and the data and our strategies that we're going to use safe from the narcissist, any of his flying monkeys and minions, people that he has going scouting for him, new girls, mothers, whoever is looking out for him because he's convinced them that he's the victim. So make sure you are safeguarding your custody case. If you're on social media, my groups only allow for anonymous posting, and we don't allow each other to give direct advice. Can't tell you how many times So many people said to immediately call CPS, Child Protective Services, when I said something was happening in my case, and that all went against me in court. So I had to make sure I talk with a lawyer, and what rises to the level that the judge will care about, and what rises to the level that has enough evidence to actually make a finding on. So, if you're healing from narcissistic abuse, it's not about making your pain go away. It's about carrying it humbly with grace. And the tip is to recycle your pain. So, a great place to do that is one of the 12-step programs like Codependence Anonymous, Adult Children of Alcoholics and Dysfunctional Families Anonymous, or Al Anon if your ex was a drinker or you have a parent that was a drinker. So we want to make something useful and helpful to others in pain. And that's why I have all of my books. So my mission is peace and protection for mothers. I aim to be a light in the darkness of this dilemma. I do have 5 books for moms. I say pick up the first one and read all the way through. Remember to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, this podcast, or my free Substack email newsletter. I'm going to keep delivering as many tips to help emotionally encourage you to get the support you need and to focus on what matters. So, do we focus on the last lie of the narcissist? No, we need to focus on our healing, getting validation, living in truth, healing from all that the narcissist is. And what does a narcissist do? Lots of things: betrayal, lies, generating so much chaos and conflict, and triangulating people, and alienating us from our children, or holding our children hostage. All of that can be emotionally destabilizing. And it's one of the keys to healing, if you pick up my guide, is to be able to label it. So if you can label the lesson, or not just label the lesson, label the narcissist tactic, which I do have all the tactics listed in my second book. I call it Co-Parenting Abuse, which is more like post-separation abuse. If you can label the tactic, it can lose some of its power to emotionally destabilize you. Because when you are aware of what is being used, what the weapon is to attack you with, and that means you're not totally being attacked from it. You're actually rising up out of it. You're not just in it anymore. You're observing it. So it doesn't feel like it directly hit you where it was meant to hit you, in the heart or the head, or physically even. Like the weapon doesn't actually hit the target because you're not down in the mud or in the weeds with the narcissist or being the bullseye. And I teach about how to stop being the narcissist target of blame. So make sure you find that blog, that article on my website, or it's actually in my 4th book, my gray book with the stones, gray stones. So if we stop being the narcissist target of blame, it can stop some of the narcissistic abuse. So think about that. Like, are you actually creating an enemy to destroy in his mind? Usually they create that we are the enemy to destroy. And sometimes we act like the enemy, the person that's going to report him and hold him accountable. And I teach how to stop being the target of blame and how to turn that to other things instead of us. But that's tricky. It takes time. It takes a full understanding of what we're up against, and it takes our healing. So we need to heal from narcissistic abuse for ourselves, for our children, and for each other. So look for my groups that I will post. And thank you so much for listening and watching. Remember to like and subscribe.